And we are live. What's up, y'all? What's going on? Jeff is not here. I fired him. Well, not really.
Nasty
I didn't
work.
fire him. But I'll be running the show today. The Cowboys got some more money. We pick our free agents that we'll have with that money. And we have our friend Jonah Javad calling us from WFAA. And this show starts right Boy and Cat Boy's daddy is back at the bank again.
Nasty work.
I don't know if I've ever called him Cat Boy out loud.
How'd it feel?
I don't know. I just feel like one day he's gonna see me in the street and be like, "Cat Boy, your mother." Like he's gonna like see me and be like, "What'd you call me?"
He'll say Mr. Fourth and Gone.
No, he'll probably like, "You wish you had this Cat Boy,
Boy.
boy."
KG likes to call him Cat Boy on social media.
I know KG calls him Cat Boy.
I don't
on
call
social
him Cat
media.
Boy. I got to deal with him.
Yeah.
I don't call him Cat Boy.
What's going on? Shout out to people in the super chat. My boy, our boy, Ernesto was in there early with the heart hands. I appreciate you, Ernesto. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. We want to make sure we're not dropping down on our numbers because Jeff's not here today. Got a jam-packed show on the Cowboys DLLS podcast today. The calorie cap has gone up. The Cowboys do have more money. What the hell they'll do with it? We'll discuss it. We'll try to give our best answer for it, but we'll see.
He's ready for Club Pop-Up.
I know he's ready. I'm ready too. But I'm Jesse Holly.
From North Carolina to down at the one. Jesse is always having fun.
Oh.
His football takes are never wrong.
Oh.
Pop, pop, gotta call you Mr. Fourth and Gone.
Oh!
Wow. See how they do you? See how they do you? You said I do you? That ain't got nothing to do with me, dog. Don't put that on me.
Wow.
Don't put that on me. Don't put that on me.
Wow.
That's how they do you.
Wow.
You see how they do you, dog?
All right.
I just want to let you know that's how they did you. So y'all blindsided me.
They blindsided me. They got me. Y'all got me. You got me, boss. You got me. You got me.
GMG Ben.
To my radio right, it is the proprietor and CEO of Club Pop, Clarence Hill.
Club Pop Pop, where legends drop. Clarence Hill just can't stop. Breaking news, you gotta hop in Club Pop Pop.
To his far right, I don't know what they got for you, Joe.
I'm so
I
scared.
have no idea. I got
I'm
no
so
idea
scared.
what they got going
I'm so
on right
scared.
now for you, Joe. But Joe Hoyt.
Tell him something, Joe.
There you
Okay,
go.
there we go.
There you go.
Hey, they got me.
They got you. Oh, got you good.
God, that
Dang.
end of that.
That's
Don't put it on me, man. Don't
Talk
put it
about
on
an
me.
exclamation point. Talk about getting that extra yard.
man.
You know?
Wow.
Put it
Okay.
on me.
All right. Let's get back to this show. All right. News came out yesterday that the NFL teams have gotten their salary cap number, and that number, as we all thought it would, going up. It's going up anywhere between $22 and $26 million. The range is $277 to $281 million. If you're keeping count, over the last 2 years, that is a grand total of $53 million the cap have gone up. Now, we all know that we cover an ownership and team that always talks about the cap. Cap friendly, cap appropriate, cap control, and that they never ever want to go over the cap. With these numbers, what do you think the Cowboys are thinking? And once I get your answers, I'm going to go back and I'm going to show you some ways where they can take that number, because right now they're a little bit over with the way that the new cap is going. They're right now $2.4 million under the cap. Now, that's not much money that you can go out there and really work with, but there are some things that they can go and do that we'll discuss later into this topic. But what do you think the Cowboys are thinking right now, or the Cowboy fans are thinking right now with the way that the cap has gone up?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think that the Cowboys, this is a number higher than even they expected, right? And Clarence will probably talk about it in a little bit, but they even expected something potentially even worse when it came to salary cap going forward. But before we talk about what the Cowboys might do, because I think we have an inkling of what they might do. We've seen it. Hey, just because you have more salary cap space doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go make moves. We talked about Greg Hardy and Brandon Carr being the last two guys they really shelled out money for externally. I kind of want to – I feel bad for doing this, Cowboy fans, but a little bit of a caveat, a little bit of a warning. Just because the salary cap went up for the Cowboys also means that it went up for everyone else's too.
Very true.
We've seen what the Commanders have done with salary cap space. We've seen what the Eagles have done. The 49ers, we'll talk about that too. They're trying to sell some of their ownership stake to get more flexibility in terms of how they manage the salary cap. I think that this is, yes, a reprieve for the Cowboys who are now officially under the salary cap without making another move right now. But it's also a warning because if the Cowboys don't do anything with this, if they don't act with this, if they don't restructure some money to get even more salary cap space, guess what? Other teams in the league will.
Yeah, I think that point is valid, that more space means more for the Cowboys, more for everybody else. But Washington already had cap room.
Yeah.
They already had cap room to spend. It's more, but it's already a cap room. What it really means is that there's more money on the market. So the contracts, I think the best news is for the players because those contracts will go up. There will be legitimate contracts. The issue is for the Cowboys has never been about, I mean, I know they've always talked about the cap and being tight up on the cap. They don't want to spend in free agency. So it doesn't matter how much money they have, are they going to use it? To me, it means no excuses. You talk about Micah. Everybody saw that when the cap went out. Even Micah, was out there on the Twitter streets, X streets, whatever you want to call it, tweeting about LFG. Okay, we got the money, so let's do something with it. Well, that means giving it to me and signing the contract that you expect me to have that we've been talking about, or also signing me, getting that out of the way, and signing other guys. The question is, where's the Cowboys want to? Where's the Cowboys? What do they want to do? Just a couple of things. Since 2016, since Dak has been in the league, because everybody talking about Dak's contract. Since 2016, the Cowboys have spent a total of $340 million in free agency, $38 million a year. By contrast, the Eagles have spent $639 million or $71 million per season. The Cowboys have not been players in free agency the way teams like the Eagles. We've always used the Eagles, and they've talked about the Eagles being an example. But more to the point, because people talk about Dak's getting $60 million and CD's getting this, and that's why they're cap strapped. That's why they can't spend money. The Cowboys don't want to spend money. They have not spent money in free agency, even when they had Dak and CD on rookie deals. Going back to 2016, the Cowboys were 19th in free agent spending. 2017, when Dak was on a rookie deal, 23rd in free agent spending. 2018, still on the rookie deal. 29th in free agent spending. 2019, still on their rookie deal. 30th in free agent spending. They didn't spend any money when they weren't paying Dak.
Right.
They didn't spend money when they weren't paying Dak. What makes you think all of a sudden now they're going to start spending money? That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
When you talk about being all in, and Jerry will argue that when you commit to a guy making $60 million and commit to a receiver making $35 million, that's commitment. That's all in. Yes, you have committed money, but is that all in the spirit of what you laid it out as far as all in on doing everything you can to improve this football team? Restocking the team with guys that are already on the team is not all in.
Right.
Okay, that's a commitment.
Right.
You made a financial commitment, but that's not all in because you've done nothing to improve the team. Like this year, the Cowboys have a load of free agents, okay? Have a load of free agents, and you have to replenish your roster. So re-signing, if you re-sign Osa and you re-sign Jordan Lewis, that's not an example of being all in. That's just replenishing what you got. Being all in is going to get outside free agents. So are you going to use this money, this new money, and other things you can do that you're going to talk about to create even more cap room to improve the talent on the team? Because that's what we're really looking for.
No,
just before you dive in really quick, I like to look at seasons as themes, right? Like last year's season, they set the theme. We're going to go all in. Clearly they didn't. I think this year's theme right now, there's no excuse not to go all in.
They always seem to find one, though. Because
they don't want to spend the money.
They always seem to find one.
There's no excuse.
But what does all in look like? Because they're going to tell you there's two different things.
Jesse will tell us. Right?
All right, so here's what it is. Right now, the Cowboys, their current cap space is $2.47 million. Now, with a couple of switch flips and switch hits and an extension, the Cowboys can create up to $98 million in cap space. How do you get there? You restructure that deal, right? Because we all know that deal has to be restructured, right?
Happen.
Right now, he's at $89 million as a cap hit this year. That is inconceivable that it's not going to happen. So you can create $37 million there. You restructure CeeDee Lamb's deal. You can create another $20.5 million there. You can restructure Terrence Steele deal, and he should be one that wants to restructure a deal if he wants to be a part of this football team. $9 million there. Trayvon deal gets restructured, $5.8 million, and then you sign an extension for Micah Parsons, and you take his number. Go ahead.
No.
You take his number, and then now you're able to create $18.2 million in cap space. In total, gives you around just under $100 million in cap space for the Cowboys to use this offseason. 4 new coaching staff in Brian Schottenheimer and a new defensive coordinator in Eberflus and all the things that they know. We know the Cowboys have many, many, many holes on their team. Even if they go and sign all of the free agents that they already have on the list already, there's still major holes that they have on this football team that they need to go and address in free agency.
And two things there. Number one, those restructures for Dak and CD, they're just switches need to flip.
Yes.
There's nothing you need to do. There's no negotiating.
No negotiating.
They're already built into the contract. So, and they will do that. Two things I caution, okay? And I like the Dak and CD moves, and I like the move with Micah certainly signing a contract lowers his cap figure for sure. And that's what you want to do, and that's going to happen at some point. I'm not doing nothing with Diggs' contract. They haven't done anything with Diggs' contract since it's been signed. This could be his last year. So I'm not adding more years on the back of his contract because I think Diggs is gone after this year. You know, he's going to be injured much of the year. They've already paid him all of his bonus money. There's no obligations that are tied to him as far as dead money beyond this year. I'm moving on, most likely moving on from Diggs. I'm not paying him. Basically, he's been injured, coming off these major injuries. He's not worth the contract at this point going forward. At least I'm going to find out. I'm not doing anything with Diggs' deal. And same thing with Terrence Steele. You know, I'm trying to get out of that contract, you know, as fast as I can. And those are small moves. Smaller moves is you look at the numbers compared to what you get when you restructure Dak and CD. And so I think I can live with those moves and keeping them where they are till I decide where I am with those players.
Yeah, and those are the conversations that are being had right now, to your point. I think it's a really good point because, yeah, Dak, CD, no conversation at all. But Terrence Steele, to your point, too, hey, do you want a future here? Maybe we do restructure this a little bit. Maybe take a pay cut. Those are the conversations we're going to have.
Pay cut is different.
That's what I'm saying.
Because the simple restructures is already built into the contract.
That's what I'm saying.
Two different things.
So when in terms of creating salary cap space, I think a lot of people are taking over the cap right now and just saying, boom, let me click this button, bang, no question. That's good. I caution it a little bit as well as, hey, there are more levels to this. There are more things in play, not for Dak and CD, those are going to happen, but for other guys, there are other questions. Damone Clark, I saw someone throw that out there, like maybe you want to get rid of him and take that, as a restructure / there's other things in play beyond just flipping switches. Yeah, he's on contract. You were quick to dismiss Trayvon Diggs.
I'm not quick to dismiss him. I've been looking at the numbers.
No, it's someone. Whoa, the Taco Bell. I like it, the little Taco Bell edition. Yeah. Is that you, Bobby? I like it. Hey, you're a real one, Bobby.
Get him some.
Oh, shout out to whoever commented too.
I'm not dismissing. I'm just saying.
No, you said after this year is gone.
Yeah, just read the tea leaves. Look at the numbers. Look where he has injured.
A lot of people had thought, had he not gotten injured this particular season, that this offseason, they would have done something to either trade him or look to.
It's fascinating. Because that's a top 5 corner according to Matt Eberflus.
Well, again, see now you're being funny because
I'm not. I quoted him.
Yeah, you're being funny.
I quoted him.
We don't even know if he's going to be on the field certainly to start the season. So yes, they're saying all the right things right now. But I mean, it's just from a realistic standpoint, you have to pay the other corner. You have to pay Bland.
Well, do you?
And let me just say this.
Do you have to pay?
Yeah,
Are you? I mean, Duran was hurt this past season, and
I'm saying theoretically, you're not paying both, and one has been injured, and his
both have been injured.
Well, DeBron had just injured this year. I mean, I'm just saying that this is Diggs' second injury.
No, I know.
So it's a little different situation, and the financial commitment to Diggs is different at this point.
I'm saying when you forecast the salary cap and what you're going to do with your own stuff, there are conversations to have, and there's still things left to be determined. Yeah. Like, I mean, shoot, what if Trayvon actually is there at their week 1, is healthy for 16 games, or Duran is hurt for 10? You know what I mean?
When you look at these numbers and the way you want to kind of look at this thing for the Cowboys is we're always comparing now with the Eagles because they are the Super Bowl champions. You think about everyone keeps saying, hey, 2029 is when it all comes to roost for the Eagles and that. But they're saying, hey, 2029, if we keep going at this pace, the number will go up and up and up and up. And the build may not be so great when we see it at 2029.
No doubt.
And so for the Cowboys, a lot of people are saying, hey, you got to stop operating in a place where this is a poor league. This league isn't taking hits financially. This league is only growing and growing and growing financially, whether it be TV deals or advertising deals or whatever have you, that they're continuing to grow. So you might need or want to adopt some of those other practices that these other teams are doing, whether it be sell a little bit of the franchise to get a little bit more money, or look to have these contracts stacked up down the line so that you're able to bring free agents in, use some of this money, push some of the money forward so that you can compete in today's football.
Yeah.
All right, man, the money goes up for the Cowboys, but it stays the same here for us. So after this, we'll have Joe Hoyt wrote a great article yesterday, went into the trenches with the big boys, and got a great article that we'll discuss coming up right here on the Cowboys podcast, DLLS Cowboys podcast. We'll be right back. Let me tell you about our friends over at Lucy. Lucy is 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco-free. Lucy Breakers are nicotine pouches with extra surprise. Each pouch holds a capsule that can be broken to open and release extra flavor and hydration. Set yourself up with a subscription and have Lucy delivered straight to your door. You don't have to no longer go to the gas station or go to the supermarket or the corner store, wherever you get your products from. You can get it delivered right to your doorstep. It's a level up time with your routine with with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/DLLS and use the promo code DLLS to get 20% off your first order. Lucy has a 30-day refund policy. If you change your mind, you can just always send it back. Remember, go to lucy.co and use the promo code DLLS for 20% off. Remember, Lucy's products are only for adults of legal age. Each order is age verified. One of these products contains nicotine. Nicotine can be an addictive chemical. Concerts, games, NCAA tournaments. Mary J. Blige is coming to town Friday. Auntie is coming to town, and I may have to go see Auntie. She's bringing Neo and some others.
Neo?
Where am I going to get tickets? Last minute, where do I go? I go see my boys at Game Time. I downloaded the app already. It's in my phone. It's right next to my banking app. So I know that when I go there and I get these tickets that I'm going to save $20 off my first purchase. Why am I going to do that? Because I'm going to use the promo code DLLS. And I know when I go to see my Mary J. Blige concert tickets, I'm gonna hit the seat and it's going to tell me where I'm sitting at, so I know where my vantage point is, and I can see Auntie in them boots, and she can be kicking her boots like this and kicking her boots like that, and she could be singing Real Love to me right there in front of my face. But I'll know this because my seats will say it on the Game Time. They'll show me right there. So what do you got to do right now? Download the app, use the promo code DLLS, and you too can get $20 off your first purchase. What time is it?
Game time.
Speaking of that,
Oh, boy.
you like the Monties?
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
Monties?
I like aunties. I like aunties.
What's wrong with aunties?
I like aunties.
No, he likes older women, is what I'm saying.
I like aunties.
He like older women.
There's nothing a young girl can do for me.
Okay.
There's nothing. We don't listen to the same music. We don't have young girls eat Taco Bell. I'm not eating.
Whoa.
Young girls go to Applebee's too.
That's
I'm
what
not
saying.
going to Applebee's.
Look, you told me the other day.
You're
You
not
said
going to
Applebee's. I ain't go. Young girls go to Applebee's. I don't want Applebee's. I don't want Applebee's.
You're not going to Applebee's for drinks?
No.
I don't drink.
I know you're not, but
so
you're
I
not.
ain't.
You
No.
You won't? Oh, you still owe us an IPA, by the way.
Like
I'm just saying.
Kit Kat told me that we're on TV now, so certain things I can't say. So I'll refrain from saying these things and other things that young girls just don't do.
They will do for you. What's young though? I mean, we talking? Do you date people your age that have to be older than you? I mean, what's young?
I prefer my age or older.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's not no 30-somethings.
Yeah, Jesse's
like
on.
late 30s, okay, but like early 30s, 20, late 20s,
Yeah. Okay.
can't do nothing with that.
Okay.
I can't do nothing with that. All right, Joe Hoyt. This is why you should be a diehard. It's because of articles like this. Joe Hoyt visited with the coaches yesterday, 2 days ago. They got a chance to really get in the trenches with the big boys, and so I'm gonna toss it up to you, Joe, and I'm gonna let you have it, and you tell us all about this article that you wrote.
Yeah, so I've done features the last couple of years on Deuce Vaughn and Cooper Beebe, right? 2 Kansas State guys. And every time I went and talked to people about them, they all said, oh, by the way, Conor Riley, the offensive line coach at Kansas State, like we owe him a lot. This was even with Deuce Vaughn, talking about how they blocked for Deuce and all the things he did there. So when the Cowboys hired Conor Riley, it immediately kind of piqued my curiosity of, okay, why did Kansas State people go out of their way to talk about how good Conor Riley is at Kansas State? And the big thing is that people said that he develops talent, and not just like guys who are 6'6" and super athletic and, are huge slabs of clay that can be molded like Tyler Guyton is, but guys that you would never ever expect. Guys like Cody Mock became a second-round pick from North Dakota State. He was a tight end when he first got to North Dakota State. Conor Riley helped mold him into an offensive lineman. The Missouri Valley Conference, yes, it's a FCS conference, but they released their 40th anniversary team this past week, I think it was, or earlier this offseason. 6 of the 13 offensive linemen on that for the conference were coached by Conor Riley at North Dakota State over the last 40 years. Long story short, this guy develops talent. I looked at Hayden Gillum, who was a Kansas State 2-time all-conference player. He was a 240-pound walk-on from Plainsville, Kansas, when he first met Conor Riley. And this was a guy who played running back and defensive line, did not have a position. And Conor Riley goes, you know what? I think you can be an offensive lineman. I can move you to center. And how did they get him to being an all-conference player? Well, Conor Riley put the work in. Conor Riley is a guy that is known as developing guys that you would never expect to being all-conference players and guys that are pro-ready. Clayton Adams talked a lot about that. He said, hey, I'd evaluate Kansas State guys and North Dakota State guys when I was in the NFL, and I just knew that they were coached well because of what they put on tape, because of what Conor Riley did. I think when you look at Conor Riley, that is his big challenge here with the Dallas Cowboys, is how do you not only develop guys to be pro-ready, but now that they're in the pros, how do you take them to the next level and develop them further? I think his entire first couple seasons here are probably going to be defined by what he does with Tyler Guyton and a couple of the other young offensive linemen. One thing to note with the Dallas Cowboys currently, Zach Martin is likely out the door, right? That means your most veteran offensive lineman is going to be Terrence Steele and heading into year 6. It's a young offensive line group with guys that are trying to take the next step, and a lot of people at the Dallas Cowboys believe Conor Riley is the right guy to do it. Go check out more about this story over on alldls.com. Sign up to be a diehard and check it out.
When I hear development, and we talked about this briefly a couple days ago, is how much time are we talking? Right? Because the window, every year, every single year, you talk about developing. Every single year that you don't get to a place of, to the mountaintop, right? And the ultimate goal is to win a Super Bowl. But you at least want to know that we are realistically competing for a chance at that. How do we, because I want to get off the fact, because all I keep feeling from, this is just me, what I keep feeling from when I hear from these coaches, one is they're doing what they said that Schotty would do, that he would be able to control a room or capture a room with the things that he says. And I think you see that coming out in his coaches and the way that they're speaking now. But I can't depart from the fact that there's no time. Like how much time are we talking about trying to develop these athletes to being competitive football players? Because the Eagles are ready to go today.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Eagles are ready to go today.
That defensive line is ready to go.
It's ready to go.
Yeah.
The Washington Commanders are ready to go today. I can only think about what the Niners will be and what the Rams will be and what Minnesota is and what Detroit is. Like these teams are ready to go today. So is this development going to be a slow dripping development process, or is this development going to be one that is, when I get here, you're going to see the immediate change that needs to be saw in order to get these guys where they need them to be?
Well, before Joe answers, this development is all about optimism. We're talking about optimism. And I think that every team that signs a new coach has optimism about their staff. And I remember when they got rid of Joe Philbin and brought in Solari.
Yeah.
There was optimism. Oh, this is going to be the change. And so, yes, you get a new coach. Everybody has optimism. You have to accentuate the positives. What do we like about this guy? He's developing. Same thing with the receivers coach. He has a history of development. They're young guys. They're all come from college. Junior Adams, and you look at what he's done with receivers in the league, and he's never been to pro level, but he's a history of teaching and development. Same thing as the running back coach. They got history of doing that sort of thing. So you're looking for qualities, looking for traits. What can we feel good about this staff that's going to make a difference? Again, they ain't got no honeymoon. They got to win now.
Right.
We're talking about two.
No.
If they don't make the playoffs this year, he's on the hot seat. I know we got a 4-year deal, but he's on the hot seat after 1 or 2 years to me.
Okay, I would say 2, but
I mean, if they don't make the playoffs,
if one is really bad, yes.
If they don't make, it's going to 7-10. Anything a losing record not making the playoffs is bad, especially when you're paying what you're paying Dak and CD and Micah, and this little 30-year drought is still hanging over your head. I mean, these conversations, these teams, these seasons are not in a vacuum. They're all a part of the muck that everybody's had to deal with. Jason Garrett has to deal with. Certainly, Mike McCarthy had to deal with. Tony had Romo had to deal with. Dak's dealing with it. It's not like you're not gonna get an independent, clean slate. We're just gonna grade Brian McCarthy on what he does in 2025. Not McCarthy, Brian Schottenheimer on what he does in 2025. We got all that junk on our back, okay, from years past, and you make this move that nobody's excited about.
Don't crap on my back and tell me it's raining.
we make this move that nobody's excited about, and then you go out there and don't do nothing. They ain't go, well, it's just his first year. No, this is 30 years of this mess.
Yeah.
Speaking of development, I want to give you props because you've developed into a really good holder of the mic when you move. You did this move when you were talking where you went like this and then back, and I was like, you know what? Chill's got it. And that's good. Pat yourself on the back. But I'm also glad you brought up like the kind of the cynicism with all this optimism for new coaches, because that's a legit thing. Like, yeah, hey, everyone, it's the backup quarterback theory. Everyone looks good when they're not actually in the fire. Then you put them in the fire and it's like, oh, geez, now I see why you weren't in it, right? And I think that with Conor Riley is going to be the biggest challenge. And I asked him, to your point, Jesse, like, hey, in college, you got a lot of time with guys, right? Yeah. You are the developer. What is the challenge going to be here? And he said, oh, it's going to be a challenge. And he says, but you know what? I'm looking forward to it. And I think that I've shown that I can handle a lot of different things. And this is something that I'm prepared to do. And he also had this note about, you know what, if you're not growing, like, what are you doing it for? Right. So he saw this as a chance to get out of his comfort zone to grow into something like this. And I'm not sure how well, the offensive line schemes are going to be in terms of the run game and how he's going to mesh with Clayton Adams, who he's got a long relationship with. But I do think there's a track record of making the most out of things that usually wouldn't have a lot of potential. Like I said, Hayden Gillum, 240-pound walk-on running back defensive lineman that got turned into a 2-time all-conference center. Yeah, Cooper Beebe was a defensive line recruit that turned into a 2-time consensus All-American Kansas State. Cody Mock is now one of the meanest, nastiest linemen in the NFL, playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a second-round pick. Those guys were not 5-star recruits. Those guys were not Tyler Guyton, coming out of the draft. They're not Kelvin Banks coming out of the draft. So what could he do with guys like that?
Yeah, so with those guys, and a great point, but as Jesse said, you got time to develop in college. Those guys weren't who they are. They weren't finished products as freshmen. Most of them probably redshirted, so they got in the weight room and they had a chance to get bigger. That's not on the table here.
He's got to work with Duke.
It's not a 3 or 4 year process to develop those guys and what they're going to be. So it's a question. We talked to Clayton Adams, and Clayton Adams is going to be a part of the offensive line. He said, I'm not leaving the offensive line room. Right. He's going to be a part of the offensive line room. But one thing that all of them talked about, all the coaches, offense and defense, yes, we have schemes, we have ideas, we got history development, but they need players, okay? They can't do without players. They need difference-making players. You look at the defensive coaches, they're talking about, yes, we're going to rush upfield, but we need guys, we need talent, we need guys that can be able to get in the backfield. And the same offensive line, he talked about, they still need big, nasty guys that can carry out their message of being physical. You got to have the guys.
That's why I keep coming back to, by the way, that I think Brock Hoffman might end up being a guy that they want on the starting offensive line.
One question about Brock Hoffman. We get a lot of his attitude. Is he big and nasty, or he just dirty? Okay, I want to, is he a big road grader? I don't see him as a Tyler Smith big guy who's a big human, kind of what the Eagles have.
No doubt.
That's a big nasty road grader. He does dirty things, does stuff as you like the attitude, but does he have the body build to be that big nasty physical guy? Play in and play out that they're talking about. So it's cool. He has this attitude, but does he have the body to do that?
He has a willingness to be violent, and I don't think he's the sledgehammer that Tyler Smith is. You're not going to see him decking Fred Warner 5 yards upfield like Tyler Smith did a couple years ago against the 49ers. You're not going to see Brock Hoffman do that. But I think when you have that willingness to be tenacious and that physicality, he's got a requisite amount of it. I think that's something that can also be, spread across the offensive line.
That's something we talked about with the Eagles, though.
Yeah.
They're big and nasty.
It's a good question.
They don't have to play dirty out the
Yeah.
whistle. They just run over you during the play.
It's a good question.
All right, well, we'll see. I mean, time is of the essence, and these guys got to get going right now. Up next, we got our friend from WFAA, Jonah Javad, calling in, and we'll ask him a bunch of questions about the Cowboys, what's coming up in free agency, how the Cowboys will spend money, and much more. Stay right here with us on DLLS Cowboys Podcast. And the season is ripe. I know it's a little cold outside, but that doesn't mean the sun isn't shining. I was driving in today, could barely see because the sun was so bright. This is the time of the year where you need to hit up our friends at Shady Rays. Right now, if you hit them up and use the promo code DLLS, you too can get 35% off a pair of polarized sunglasses. Over 300,000 5-stars review about these shades. We all own a pair of Shady Rays. They're fantastic. They have many different styles. Some of the things that I love about Shady Rays is the fact that if I break a pair, the pair that I have, if I break them, Shady Rays say, don't worry about it, big clumsy hand Jesse, send them back to us. We'll send you back a brand new pair for the free $99. I love free. If it's free, it's for me. If I lose a pair, they say, no problem. We'll send you a new pair. Clumsy, big-handed, forgetful Jesse. Head over to ShadyRays.com. Use the promo code DLLS and get 35% off a pair of polarized sunglasses. If you think you got what it takes, new users, you can download the Sleeper app and use the promo code DLLS Boys with an S to get $55 in free entries when you place a $5 contest. Now, we know we have the Four Nations coming up, right? Like, I'm not the biggest hockey fan in the world, but this has become some things that you can go in there and you can see if you really can get down with like that. Jeff does the hockey. I don't know about all that hockey stuff, but I know it's a big game tonight. Basketball is back in action. Luka wasn't playing that much defense last night, so you can put some things on that if a guy's guarding Luka, how that might play out. But what you need to do is you need to download the Sleeper app and use the promo code DLLS Boys to get $55 for just playing with $5. Remember, check out Sleeper's terms and conditions apply. Currently operating in 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Let's hit these super chats before we get Jonah on. Do we have Jonah? All right, let's do super chats right quick. My boy Aaron, shout out to the truck drivers out there. It says, I want to show some love to all you keep up with the content. So ready for football. I'm calling a comeback season for Diggs and a breakout season for Vaughn. I don't know if Vaughn's going to make this team. But anyway, who else we got here? We got Brian from yesterday's show. Okay, here we go. From yesterday's show, tell me that they aren't using coach speak when they talk about not putting a square peg in the round hole and then say they want Mozzie to rush the passer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're
still evaluating players now.
And we didn't buy it. We called it out when they said it. But yes, as I said, Mozzie under Quinn, well, that wasn't that didn't fit his skills because he had to rush the passer. Last year, it read and react, hold up the blockers, that fits his skill. He still was a difference maker. Now you ask him to attack the quarterback again. That's not his skill set.
Three different DCs in 3 years for Mozzie.
All right, let's get our friend Jonah Javad on and see if he can answer some of these questions.
Jonah.
Oh, Jonah.
Unzip,
Jonah. You know how we start here? No, we don't care about Mizzou. That's only
shout out to the zoo.
That's
Shout
you
out
and
Lutherburg.
KG. That's you and KG. Y'all two are the only one that worry about the Mizzou Tigers.
And Brad Sham.
What we and Brad Sham, yes.
Let's see
What
it.
we care about, Jonah.
Let's see it.
On this show, this is a no raw dog show.
He knows this.
What do we have under the quarter zip?
There's a tank top underneath.
Let's see.
Let's
we gotta
see
it.
it.
You can't just tell us. Don't give us coach speak.
Tell us something, Jonah.
The tank top.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Does that really count? Though you talked about when I had the tank top on, what'd you call those shirts? The A shirt.
A shirt.
You said, does that count on that
A
sweater?
shirt counts. Yes, I got an A
I'm
shirt
just-
on now. A shirts.
A shirt count?
A shirts count. A shirts definitely count. You just
Ma'am.
can't. You can't go raw dog. You can't go raw dog under the.
We don't
quarter
need you
zip.
doing this on
You
the
can't go
camera,
raw
okay?
dog under the hoodie or the sweatshirt. Jonah, we appreciate you joining us today. I know, when you come on our show, it's going to be wild and crazy. So just buckle up for that. And always remember never to raw dog underneath your quarter zip. That's just for you and anybody else that comes in contact with you. All right. So the Cowboys got a chance. Well, we got a chance to hear from the Cowboys assistant coaches the other day. A lot of positive things came out of those conversations. A lot of optimism come out of those conversations. Is this something that you feel like, you know what, there's some things that they were saying that I can kind of really hold on to? Or are you just saying, I'm so done with the word salad, I need to see the action on the field?
Yeah, absolutely. Number two. And if you're a fan of the Cowboys, I don't think, how could you possibly stick with, option one there? Talk is cheap, especially when, Jerry Jones has been doing it for as long as he has and trying to sell hope to the fan base. And listen, it's a new regime. A lot of these guys are unproven. I like the message that they want to be a more aggressive, hit you in the mouth type of team because, you look at a squad like Dan Campbell's Detroit Lions. That was a team that used to just get run over. And then Campbell comes in and kind of changes the whole culture, whole identity. Now teams play the Lions and the following week, it's almost like a guaranteed loss. That's how physically imposing the Lions have become. So I feel like that is maybe what the Cowboys should strive for. So when they say aggressive and physical, I mean, that would, ideally be the fit. But yeah, I'm not reading too much into any of this because there are still so many factors at play, from the personnel they have to bring in the offseason, the players they have to draft well, which they haven't done in recent years. And then, of course, what is the front office going to do to help this team? So there's so much that is more than just, their plans. There's other components to it. So let's get to week one, and then I'll give you a better answer.
We got to talk till week one, man. We got to analyze this a daily show, man. We just can't
right,
fast forward to the season. Yesterday, the NFL came out and they're going to up the salary cap at least $20 million. You brought it to the front office. What is Jerry Jones going to do with this money? They're going to be like the Eagles. They're going to be like the Rams. Are they going to go all in? What's your feeling, and what do they need to do?
I think there's been a good blueprint laid out by some other teams. The Eagles really just nailed everything last offseason, and that, I don't know if that's sustainable for every other team, but when they go out and get a guy like Zach Bond and he turns into this just like all-pro type player, that's kind of what the Cowboys need to do with some of their moves. I could see Osa possibly coming back. We saw him tweeting about everybody eating. He's become an impact player. I'd say start in the trenches because that's where football's won and lost. You see all the teams that go deep into the playoffs. They have got strong D lines and offensive lines. I know skill players are flashy. As long as the Cowboys address the lines, I think they'll, set themselves up for success down the road. But finding veteran free agents who are maybe on a 1 or 2 year deal that still have something in the tank. This is what the Cowboys probably should have done with Derrick Henry last year, among a whole number of guys, but they didn't. And so that's something where winning teams will draft well, sign veteran free agents on 1 or 2 year deals that kind of help change the culture, can still play. Maybe a guy like Aaron Jones to help bolster the running back depth. Maybe a receiver. There's going to be tons of receivers that are potentially available in free agency. So bringing guys in who can make an impact that is more than just, backups, third stringers. But again, it remains to be seen. We thought we would see this last year, and they did next to nothing. So it's really incumbent on the front office to kind of get their butts in gear. And with the cap going up, there really are no excuses.
Jonah, this reminds me of our golf games because I've got to do something that you can't right now. And you talked. I'm gonna promote your stuff because you talked to Milton Williams' dad. You talk about free agents, and this is a guy that Milton Williams is from the 817. He would fit really, really well into this Cowboys defensive line if you're trying to emulate what the Eagles are doing. One, tell us about that, and what do you think about the Cowboys actually potentially maybe using this money to actually go make a big move?
Yeah, it was cool. I got to sit down with Milton's folks the other day, and they're very proud parents of their Super Bowl champion son who had that breakout performance in the Super Bowl, a couple of sacks, strip sack on Mahomes. That was the final dagger. I actually asked them about upcoming free agency for him, and the message I got from them was, he's been to the Super Bowl twice, he got a ring, and while he loves Philadelphia, these opportunities don't come around often for football players. A second contract to do what he did in the Super Bowl. He has a chance to make a whole lot of money in free agency. So I get the sense that he's going to go wherever he gets the best offer. If Philly comes close to matching it, then maybe he'll stick around with the Eagles. But it seems like kind of a foregone conclusion he's going to be going to the suitor that offers him the most. I did ask them, how would they feel about the Cowboys? And of course, they're clad in Eagles gear and Nike Eagles sneakers. And then his dad just goes, "Then we're going to be Cowboys fans." And his mom, his mom grew up a Cowboys fan of the triplets and Jimmy Johnson era, and has kind of become detached since that era, like maybe some other Cowboys fans have. But they would embrace it. They still live in Crowley, Texas, and I'm sure they would love to have their son down the road. But I think they're kind of focused on wherever the best offer comes. That's where he's going to go. And listen, he would be an incredible fit. All he does is work hard and kind of do things in quiet, and he really made a name for himself in the Super Bowl. But he's going to be going for what? I haven't checked the exact numbers, but like 20 plus mil probably for Milton,
no doubt.
Which is like, and I mean, I could see like the Arizona Cardinals potentially looking for somebody like that, especially with their head coach being the one who drafted him or playing a role in drafting him a few years ago in Philly. So other teams are going to be of interest, but yeah, he would be a great fit in Dallas for a number of reasons, for sure.
Yeah, I've been talking to his family since before the draft. I know you talked to his family, and Wilton Williams has a Super Bowl party at Playmakers on Saturday night.
This Saturday.
This Saturday night, he has a play.
You gonna go? You gonna go, Clarence?
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to get there, man. His dad been hitting me up about going to that party, so I know, and we're gonna try to get him on the show either late this week or next week as he heads into free agency. But yeah, he would be a great option. To me, it's like Milton Williams or Oso. You can't have them both. Who do you pick? Who you gonna give that money to? Because both are gonna command around the same salary. I think Milton gives you more from a pass rush standpoint. One thing I want to ask you though, and certainly we are still dealing with the Luka hangover. Everybody in DFW is still dealing with the Luka hangover. Can you compare the two fan bases? Who's more upset right now? Cowboy fans or Maverick fans?
That's a great question.
It is
a great question.
I don't think it's
That's
close.
tough. That's tough. I feel like a lot of Mavericks fans are still going through it because, you go from the finals and your franchise player gets traded away for the silliest of reasons. And I feel like maybe Cowboys fans are hardened and conditioned by now, and that at this point they're just kind of, used to it. And, that the shoe has already dropped, and they're kind of just waiting to be surprised by the team positively, whereas the Mavericks were riding high and were kind of blindsided in a negative way. It's funny to me because,
It better be funny.
It better be funny.
It's not that funny. I'm not that funny. I grew up in the 90s. So like I caught the kind of the tail end of the Aikman era. And so I obviously knew about those Super Bowl teams of the 90s. But they're poor kids in like grad school and med school have never seen the Cowboys go to the NFC Championship game. Like there's a whole era of Cowboys fans that have just seen
My kids.
mediocrity, which is insane because us, I guess I don't know if I'd call myself an old head, but they're old heads who have seen the glory days for this franchise, but there's a whole generation now that hasn't seen anything. So I'd say the Cowboys fans are more conditioned to it. Mavs fans are still trying to figure it out. I'm going to be at that game Friday against the Pelicans. I don't know if this All-Star break will have finally kind of helped them hit the reset and where they're at on the stages of grief, but man, that arena is weird. There's some fans cheering. The other half is screaming "Fire Nico" and wearing and holding up signs and wearing weird shirts. And it is a weird time in Mavs land for sure.
All right, Joe, the last one, 60 seconds. The Cowboys coaches spoke about, getting Dak Prescott back in the running game again. Good idea, bad idea? What do you think about that?
They've been talking about that for how many years now? It feels like the start of every season, Dak's going to be doing more with his legs, and then the game starts, and it's like, not really. It'd be good for that to happen because it adds an element that the defense has to account for. I felt like when he had some of his better years, he was scrambling a bit more. But then again, he's not some spring chicken, 24-year-old kid anymore, and he has to protect his body, especially with the number of injuries he's had. So. That's all well and good. I am curious to see how this new offense takes shape. And, you know, if they're able to kind of set up more play action pass, he might not need to use his legs as much. But that's incumbent on them getting the right personnel and scheming it up the right way and having success against a lot of good defenses in the NFC.
All right, Jonah, man, we appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Stay warm, stay safe, and always remember, never raw dog under the quarter zip.
I just want you all to know that the tank top that I'm wearing underneath here is the smallest tank top you'll ever see, and it's hanging on for dear life.
Still counts, brother. It still counts, man. Thank you, man. Jonah Javad.
That sounds like a
WFAA,
bra.
Man.
Don't bra, dog.
You got a bra on, boy.
You got
bra, dog. The boy.
The bra dog. You got the bra dog going on underneath there. All right, coming up next. Now that the Cowboys have a little bit of cash, us three up here, we'll figure out, pick our potential free agents the Cowboys should go and sign. Coming up next. And let me tell you about being a diehard. This is where you want to be. We are so close to getting some new record numbers this month, and this is how you can help us out. You right now can go and become a diehard with our new spring training intro offer. It's just $48. That's all it is. You can look on the screen right here, use that little QR code, $48. That's $4 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee. That's less than an energy drink. That's less than a shot at the bar. That's less than a beer. All you have to do is just do that 4 times 12 months, $48, and you become a diehard. What do you get by becoming a diehard? Get a free t-shirt. Absolutely do. You get 20% off other merchandise in the merchandise store. You get 20% off all of our events that happen throughout the year. And boy, we got some events coming up for you. You also get access to the absolute great content from all of sports. We talked about an article today that Joe wrote. Clarence will be bringing us some articles. Our boy Tim Cato writes articles. We got Jeff Wilson write articles in every sports. Mavs, Rangers, Cowboys. I'm missing one. Mavs, Rangers, Cowboys, Stars. You have access to all of that. And then, of course, we're waiting. And I might jump on my boss today because of his song that he put out today. But we're still waiting. Yeah, we're still waiting. We're still waiting on our carrying cards that you'll get if you become there. And then right now, look at there. It's St. Patty's Day shirt.
Hey, these Irish eyes are smiling.
You use your 20% off, or you get your free t-shirt right there. Use that for St. Patty's Day. Do not wait. Do not delay. Use the $48 special to become a diehard. And then we jump in the Discord and talk about a lot of different things in the Discord. Feet, football, and more.
From North Carolina to down at the one, Jesse is always having fun.
What?
His football takes are never wrong. Pop, pop, gotta call you Mr. Fourth and Gone.
What?
Now, I feel what you feel now. I feel what you feel now.
You feel that, huh?
I feel what you feel.
Ain't
no fun when the rabbit got to go.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit got
no fun.
Good job, Ben. Good job. Good job,
There's no
Ben.
fun when the rabbit got the gun. I feel what you feel now.
Right.
So I sat in the seat that you sat in, and I laughed, and I hee and ha ha.
Yeah.
And I chuckled.
Yeah.
And I did my dance moves.
Yeah.
Now I sit in this seat. I'm sorry.
Thank
I
you.
apologize.
Okay, I appreciate that.
I apologize. I feel what you feel now.
But when that beat drops and he says pop, pop, gonna call you Mr.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
get
no,
him.
I feel you.
We're going to release that on social media,
No, we're not.
Twitter.
No,
We're
we're
going to
not.
get
The
that
full
out.
song.
We're going to get the full song out there.
Wait, hey, comment one, hold up, get your likes up. We need to get these likes up.
Yeah.
Get these likes up.
But 2, comment if you want us to do an actual music video for both these songs. I think an actual music video is going down in the DLLS studios.
North Carolina.
And I'm not from North Carolina.
Down at
I'm
the
from
one.
Jersey.
Jersey
I went to
boy.
school in North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Club hop hop.
This is not a ballet classic. Look at y'all.
Breaking news,
See?
you gotta hop in club hop.
I feel better now. I feel better. That's crazy. They got me.
They got you.
They got me.
Got you.
We talked. And
Got him, coach.
Yeah, we got. He got me. They got
coach.
me. You got me. And I put a gift on your desk today. You got me. And I put a gift. You see it?
It ain't personal. It ain't personal.
No, come here, boss. Come on in
It's
here.
all about the show.
No, come here. Come on in here.
It's all about
See,
content.
this is how this is. So
It's all about
so
content.
the other day. This is our boss Ben. This is our boss Ben. GM Ben. DJ Ben. This is the man behind Club Pop Pop and the 4th and Gone song. This is the man behind it.
4th and Gone.
So the other day, we were upstairs in our kitchen. Our studio is dope. We got a kitchen upstairs, and I'm getting popcorn, and we're having a popcorn discussion. Not in Club Pop, but we're having a popcorn discussion. And I like the flavors on my popcorn, the salt.
Oh, I saw you had one of those.
Yeah. So in our conversation, boss says, I'm a kettle corn type of dude. I said, I like the jalapeno cheese, maybe a little nacho cheese. Boss said, you know what? Kettle corn kind of guy. We got popcorn upstairs, got the microwave and all that kind of stuff. He's here all day putting together great tracks like the ones that you heard. And I said to myself, Jesse, Self said yes. What could you do for Boss Man that would really make his day?
This is very thoughtful of you.
I stopped by the store and I got the kettle corn salt.
Yeah, no, that's very nice.
And I went and I put it on his desk before he even got here.
Clarence said he did.
No, he didn't do it.
See.
Nasty work.
Thinking that I was going to earn some brownie points.
You did.
Unbeknownst to me, the dagger that he put in my back with the release song that he was cutting up all night long. I had no idea.
Let me just say, I put in the prompt, make a song about former Cowboys wide receiver Jesse Holley, and the AI spits out the lyrics. So
that's insane.
How'd they get 4th and Gone? How'd they get there? You had to feed that.
No way. No way. Cap.
That is cap. That is cap.
That's funny.
That's not Cap Boy. That's Cap.
That's
cap. That's cap. All right. So we're gonna
Speaking of
pick.
cap.
The Cowboys got the NFL, but the Cowboys got some new money, and we talked about it earlier.
All the hot milfs going to Club Pop.
There shouldn't be much of an excuse on the Cowboys spending this offseason. So we're gonna go through a little bit of an exercise, and you do the same. You tell us in the chat. First, hit the like button. If you feel so inclined and generous, feel free to add yours with a little super chat attached. A little super chat attached to that thing. We get that thing read online.
Super chat attached.
Add a little super chat to that thing. You get it read online. But you tell us in the chat. Now that the money is there, what is the free agent that you want to bring in? And we're gonna tell you ours. Kat, are you get your fingers ready, because first up, we're going to Club Pop Out.
Club Pop Out,
Wow.
where legends drop. Clarence
Joe, you're not dancing, Joe. You're not dancing, Joe.
You gotta hop in Club Pop Out.
You know
So
what?
who's gonna be your free agent?
Devontae Adams. Give me a sidekick. Give me a CD side pick. I want Devontae Adams. He's out of New York, just like Aaron Rodgers. I need that receiver. I need that CD sidekick. I need the big. I've been talking about a big physical receiver to play opposite CD, to catch those slants, catch those contested catches. Give me Devontae Adams.
If there is another receiver in the league whose route running I value up there with Amari Cooper's is Devontae's.
Yes.
Devontae has the best. You can't press Devontae. His line of scrimmage releases are some of the best in the league and has been for a long time. If there is a receiver that I say when it comes to pure route running, the timing, the pace of route running, understand down and distance, depth, where they're at on the field, understanding zone and man, and how to sit in those specific spots and be able to give his numbers to the quarterback and to make the contested catches. Devontae Adams is one of those dudes that I do highly respect his route running game.
I got a breaking news. It's not Cowboy related, but NBA related.
Saw that comment. Wow.
Wemby is out for the year.
Really?
Wemby is out for the year
Wow.
with a deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder. Wemby is out for the year. Listen, we all about
this is
news.
We all
It's
about news here,
They're
baby.
going to talk about it on the
played it.
Mavs
Yeah,
show.
go ahead, baby.
It's a plug.
They're
It's
going
gonna
to
be
talk
on the
about it on the
DLLS
Mavs show
show.
next. But shocking. Blood clots.
How do you think Shams feels, by the way? Because he's gotten texts that means in the last couple weeks, hey, guess what? From a source, the Mavs are trading Luka Doncic. No.
Wow.
Now he's getting source stuff saying, hey, Wemby's out for the year. I can't even imagine as a reporter those two texts that he's gotten. It's a plug, KG.
It's a
Was
plug.
that
We're
after
plugging.
Kyrie
After
gave
this
him
show,
the
go
boo-boo?
straight to the DLS Mavs
Yeah,
show
I think
where
Kyrie
KG's
did
going
it.
to tell you about Wemby being out for
I
the year.
think Kyrie did it when he put when Kyrie put him in the When Kyrie put him in the blender, he was done.
Yeah, I guess
Kyrie
did
put
it.
him in put that old man move. He put him in the blender.
Nico knew.
But Nico knew about this too.
Nico
But
knew.
sad news for San Antonio fans. We'll get back. We'll put it back on the Cowboys. But breaking news, sports news, we're gonna give it to you no matter which show we're on. Wimby out for the year.
You know what the best thing about Devontae Adams is though?
What's that?
He's got a partnership with Taco Bell. He's got a Taco Bell inside the house.
Where's that bell again?
Yeah, where's that bell? Do you have that bell?
Tell him something, Joe.
That is the same bell that comes when the Undertaker comes out, meaning Taco Bell is equivalent to death.
Yeah.
Okay, as long as you agree.
No,
All right, tell him something, Joe.
Well, you talk about getting a partner for CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to use that money to get a partner for Micah Parsons. And I'm going to go get Khalil Mack and to pair him on the opposite edge of Micah Parsons, because not only does Khalil Mack continue to be a pretty darn good pass rusher, he is the second best, we're talking about defensive linemen and edges here, second best run defender from Pro Football Focus in the entire NFL in those two categories. Khalil Mack will not only add a little bit of element to your pass rush and give someone to fear opposite of Micah Parsons, he'll also be able to really fortify that run defense, which is something that they're going to have to do. You know, hey, especially with how you look at how the middle's operating right now. Don't got a lot of guys in the middle. We talked about this yesterday. It's Mozzie Smith and a bag of chips right now. That's what your defensive line room is. You got to add all over that place. I think you have a key piece in Khalil Mack, put him on the opposite side. And one thing Micah Parsons has always talked about, he's very receptive to learning from other guys. He's learned from offensive linemen. Talked about how Tyron Smith really taught him how to be a better pass rusher. Why not get an elite pass rusher like Khalil Mack to also help teach Micah Parsons and even take his game to the next level?
And I think the most important thing that you mentioned with Khalil Mack is the run game, because you're not going to have Tank Lawrence, who has been a bona fide, fantastic edge run stopper. We don't know what Nealon's going to bring next year coming off the injury. He was making some strides to kind of fill that role that Tank, kind of left with his injury. And then he got hurt. So having someone opposite of Micah, not only giving you the ability to have those one-on-one pass rush matchups, but also someone who is still able to be solid in the run game. Because like anything else in the National Football League, teams are still going to come back and check to see if you fixed it, right? Like
no doubt.
Like what happened last year for the Cowboys, that first 8, 9, 10 games of the season when they were absolute horrid at stopping the run, that's still on film. That's still on film, and some of those players will be back playing for the Cowboys next year. So a lot of people are going to be going out there and saying to themselves, well, let's see if they they filled those holes that they had last year in the running game. So Khalil Mack in the passing game for sure, but also being somebody who could be solid in the run game.
Why don't you hit those super chats before you give yours?
I am. That's what I was about to do. That's why I sit in this seat and hosting the show.
Whoa.
Before you give yours in the show.
Aaron?
We got Aaron the first time. We got Aaron come back again.
What happened?
It says, what happened to the Stephon Diggs talk? Cowboys do Cowboys thing and sign him off an ACL injury. I could see it. I, for one, don't want Stephon Diggs.
I want a diva.
I don't want a diva, and I don't want the brothers together.
No.
I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I do not want the brothers together.
No.
It's not a recipe for success in my eyes.
Yeah, and Diggs, the way he yaps and all the stuff he brings outside of football, they don't need that.
No.
They don't need that. They don't need that in this locker room.
These nuts.
So many D's nuts.
Well, he's with Cardi B now, so we don't need.
He's with Cardi B today. With Cardi B's today.
You got one more.
And I like aunties, and he like aunties too. So I don't need him in the city. I don't have the money to compete with him in an auntie fight. So
Chill getting Cardi C,
Bloody
though.
Floor, we got right here. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. What's good, y'all? Thank you for everything that y'all do, man. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Bloody.
appreciate you so much, man. Mine, you heard Jonah say it earlier. We gotta secure the trenches.
Yeah.
And I've been on this, and I'm staying on this. Ronnie Stanley. Like I'm done. I'm done with the project. I'm sorry. This is no shade against Tyler Guyton, but I'm done with the project. I know that the left tackle is that important, and if you can secure that, now I'm able to do. I can take my help other places. If I know that I have a left tackle that I can just for sure line him up and go eat and go hunt every single Sunday. I don't want to have to worry about a turnstile. I don't want to have to worry about the penalties.
Shade.
I don't want to have to worry about those things coming from
second.
that side. We have enough issues. So for me, It's fortifying and locking down those trenches, and it starts and ends with the left tackle position. So go and secure that, and then you can play the game back and forth with Tyler Guyton, maybe at guard, and move some other people around, or maybe he goes and plays some right tackle or what have you. But that coveted left tackle spot, like let's stop. Like, I don't want to play games with that anymore.
Don't play a game, but don't call me a turnstile and try to take my job and then say no shade.
With all due respect. With all due respect.
It's the epitome of shade.
With all due respect. All right, man, we appreciate you guys being here today. Remember, you never know what anyone's going through, so be kind to everyone. And remember, eliminate the contingencies.
We all silly like the mayor.